this week, much like I've done in past weeks. Tell me something good. What has happened today or even in days past? That something good is to be offered, to be shared. Yeah.
Yesterday's gathering.
Yesterday's gathering, yeah.
In particular, the Ojibwe singer for the healing. I found that really spoke to my soul.
Yeah.
Everybody was glad.
Yes.
I think we needed a lot of healing here in the Twin Cities.
Yep. Anything else? Michael?
Osprey Wild was great. And
Osprey
also,
Wild.
it was opening day.
And what?
MLB.
Oh, it was opening day for MLB. Oh, yeah, right, of course. Yeah, Vicki.
My boss gave me an award for working extra.
Hey. That's exciting. Yeah. Exciting.
No.
Stuart?
We were following the frogs yesterday, and I now have a frog in my throat.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, Monica.
My family is living with us, and we have a new baby in the house, and these are crazy, amazing blessings.
Yeah.
That could last a lot longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. We hold on to these snapshots, these good news moments. And during this season of Lent, we have been invited to continue to look for the goodness of life as these days are lengthening. And today is no different. If anything, this Palm Sunday, this particular good news is inspiring us to act. In Jesus' time, it was customary to make the pilgrimage to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. At its core, Passover, or Pesach, is the foundational narrative of Jewish liberation. This story has three key dimensions. The historical event, Passover commemorates the Exodus, the moment God rescued the Israelites from 400 years of enslavement in Egypt. According to the book of Exodus, God unleashed 10 plagues to break Pharaoh's grip. The final plague was the death of the firstborn. But God passed over the homes marked with the blood of the Lamb. The second dimension to this is the ritual components. By the time of Jesus, Jerusalem would swell from 50,000 people to over 200,000 people. We may have saw that yesterday. Pilgrims came to sacrifice lambs at the temple and share a meal featuring matzah, or unleavened bread, to remember their hasty flight, and bitter herbs to remember the sting of enslavement. And they practiced the Haggadah, or the retelling, where every generation was taught to view themselves as if they personally were being liberated that night. And then finally, the political tension. Because Passover celebrates the defeat of an ancient empire by the power of God, celebrating under Roman occupation was like a spark falling onto a dry harvest field. One breath of wind, one messianic claim, and the whole landscape could catch fire. It was an act of hope and of quiet defiance against the current Pharaoh. Reminding ourselves of the significance of Passover helps us feel how charged this season was and is. It was ritual, it was tradition, it was political tension. And do we see similar comparisons for today? It's hard for not the words just to jump off the page. History tells us that a Roman triumph, a military parade, usually occurred during Passover week. It was Rome's way of checking the crowd, a show of might to say, see what happens if you try to pull something? We're going to come in with our war horses and all of our armor and just make sure we hold everybody at bay. The governor would enter from the west, surrounded by the wealthiest citizens and shiny gold armor, padding the pockets of those already in control. In sharp contrast, Jesus enters from the east. His march is for the people, the hungry, the poor, the afraid. And as he enters, the crowd responds to his authenticity. They see through the pageantry of the Roman parade. They recognize a different kind of leadership, one that mobilizes them to throw their cloaks in the street and to wave palm branches. The energy is infectious. It is the climax of a grassroots movement. This story intentionally places us in that crowd, and it invites us to shout, Hosanna. Can you say it with me? Hosanna. To throw our coats down and to wave our branches. Hosanna, Hosanna. But what will this good news inspire us to do? How will this gospel move us beyond the sanctuary? Jesus' inspiration to act may have been felt yesterday by some of us at the No Kings March, or today at the Path to Palm Sunday event at the Capitol. These marches symbolize our freedom to express grievances with a political climate that often perpetuates injustice in the name of God and in the name of Christianity. If you were there, what did your sign say? Or if you could raise a sign, what would it say? We got to keep it clean. What would your sign say? Or what did your sign say? My sign said resist. Any others? Or if you could, we the people.
The Constitution trumps the president.
The Constitution trumps the president. Vicki?
Love over hate.
Love over hate.
I had 3 things, but one of them I actually pulled out from 20-some years ago that our oldest had made, said no more, and a tank with a red, and 2 people shaking their hands.
That's good. Yeah, Tim?
I don't remember where I parked my car.
Yeah, there are some great signs out there, yes. Indeed. Yes.
There's one in every crowd.
Yeah, there's one in every crowd, exactly. As I mentioned, the sign that I held yesterday was a rainbow, had aspects of the rainbow on it featuring the Statue of Liberty with the word resist printed across the bottom. And the Statue of Liberty, much like Palm Sunday, holds in tension the gap between a ritual of freedom and the protest for actual equality. Though we see her as a sign of welcome, she embodies an exodus from oppression. If you look at her feet, she is stepping out of broken shackles. Her official name is Liberty Enlightening the World, with her torch representing progress. But there's a hypocrisy here. When that statue was dedicated in 1886, Liberty was a woman, yet women could not vote. Black Americans were facing the terror of Jim Crow. And holding that sign at the start of Holy Week exposes the hollow rituals of any elite class that talks about freedom but refuses to practice it. It exposes a modern climate where the gap between haves and the have-nots increases, and our ability to disagree with competence is fueled by fraudulence. Is Palm Sunday a protest? From my perspective, yes. Why? Because those who laid down cloaks and chanted Hosanna, which means save us, were crying out that things were not right. Systems were unjust. Jesus offered the insight that things could be different. Love of neighbor was possible. Table fellowship was possible. God's kingdom was possible, not just for a few, but for all. The power of that community was a snapshot of Jesus' prayer that we may all be one. Banding together in this way does not mean blind allegiance. It means standing for something beyond ourselves, for compassion, reconciliation, and the ancient covenant of love that Jesus endorsed. As we enter this Holy Week, facing authoritarianism and greed, much like Jesus did, let us remember, the good news is still alive. It tastes like bread passed through a hungry crowd. It sounds like laughter, and it feels like mercy. It looks like streets covered in branches and crowds chanting, "No kings, no more." May we remain ever vigilant in how we care for one another, whether it is picking up groceries, helping with rent, watching kids, or entering the voting booth. These are the points of connection that bind us together. When we truly know our neighbors, it becomes nearly impossible to disparage them. Instead, we see a tapestry of hope wrapped in respect. As we follow Jesus toward the cross on this day, let us be inspired by the extravagance of God's heart, a heart that knows no bounds. Let us love justice fiercely. Let us be radical neighbors, dreaming for a better world and marching for the sake of justice and peace. May it be so.